Hello everyone, I'm here in Barcelona in Spain, a country with beautiful architecture and an insane amount of Jewish history and world history of Jews that lived here throughout that were kicked out during the Spanish Inquisition, including some of the biggest rabbis that names are household names, the Ramban, that people get confused for the similarity of their names, but are different people. Just both of them were also kicked out during the Spanish Inquisition, the Abarbanel, and many, many others. And a place that has a lot of rising anti-Semitism, even again today, especially in this time with everything going on in Israel. They have decided against Jews and against Israel. However, today, considering that I am very close to where the Ramban is, I felt it was important to talk about one of the most famous things that the Ramban discusses, what is known as Igeret HaRamban, the letter that the Ramban, Nachmanides, writes to his son. He writes him a letter and he says, it is very important that you read this letter at least once a week. And I highly recommend that every person that is listening to this takes time out of their week to better themselves as people and read it. Read it in the original, read it in whatever language you will be able to understand, in Hebrew, in English, in Spanish. It is very highly recommended to become a better person. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I want to focus on a specific part of it. He says, listen, my son, to the words of Torah from your mother and from the Musar of your father. Shma b'ni musar avicha ve'al titosh torat imecha titnehel ledaber kol dvarecha benachat. Try to make sure that you speak everything calmly, nicely, so that people can hear what you say. And he repeats over and over again, stay away from the midah, from the attribute, from a behavior that leads you to anger, that leads you to feel full of yourself, to feel what is called ge'ava. Ge'ava is a very, very bad, pride is a very bad sin. And he says the reason that this is so bad is because you are convinced by the essence of what ge'ava is you are convinced that you are right, and this will cause you to get angry. And he says, and anyone who is angry, it's if they are worshiping idols and they're being possessed by hell itself. He says, and what is the best way to behave? He says, midata anava, the attribute of anava, of modesty. He says, being modest means when I'm talking with someone and I think that I know more than him, I need to still respect him because he's older than me. And if I'm older than him and I know more than him, then I need to assume that if I am sinning and he's sinning, that I'm doing it on purpose and he's doing it by accident. Always try to look in the best in people. Nachmanides is trying to teach us a very important rule of how to get along in life, and that is always look for the best in people. Don't always assume that your way is the only way that's right. It says you want to coexist, you want to be able to live with other human beings, Jews and non-Jews. Benachat, calmly try to figure out how you're going to deal with things. Figure out how you're going to react. Assume that other people know something that you do not. God willing, we will learn to listen to each other and work together so all of Am Yisrael and the whole world will be able to see better days. Shabbat Shalom.